Hello and welcome to the next video in the virtual lesson series. This one is on levels of organisation, and that's how cells eventually make an organism. So first things first, I want you to write down the name of each of these things that you can see and to identify for me whether it's a cell, a tissue, an organ or an organ system. So pause the video and figure it out for me. So the first one is the lungs, which is an organ. The next one is a root hair cell. Then we have the nervous system, the sperm cell, a leaf, which is actually a plant organ. A lot of people get that wrong. The xylem, which is a tissue, and finally muscle, which is a tissue as well. The smallest unit of life is a cell. Cell is the building blocks or the Lego pieces that make up the much bigger model. A group of cells working together that all do the same thing will make a tissue. So for example, skin cells will make up skin tissue, or nerve cells will make up nervous tissue. And finally, a group of tissues that are all working together will make an organ. In this example, it's a heart, so that would be made of cardiac muscle tissue. So think about what organs we have in our body, or your cat or your dog, or if you really want to challenge yourself, what organs, tissues and cells would you find in a plant? So what I'd like you to do here is to put the pink words from the smallest thing to the biggest. Don't worry about the green words just yet. So to start you off, an organelle is the smallest thing on that list. So pause the video and write them down for me. So an organelle is a cell. And as we know, a group of cells makes a tissue. A group of tissues makes an organ. A group of organs makes an organ system, and lots of organ systems make an organism. Now the same thing, I'd like you to put the green words in order from smallest to largest. Pause the video here and figure them out. Okay, so the smallest thing is the nucleus. The nucleus is the organelle of a muscle cell. And if we combine lots of muscle cells together, we'll get muscle tissue. And muscle tissue clumped together could make an organ such as the heart. And the heart is part of the circulatory system, which of course is in a human. Our cells have lots of different functions. They're often specialised to do a particular job. This means that they have special features that make them well adapted at carrying out these functions. We've got the outline here of a human body. Now you don't have to necessarily draw this. You can just write down for me where I'd find all of these organs. So pause the video and draw or write down for me where you'd find them. Okay, so you have your heart, which pumps blood around your body. Hopefully you got the brain right, which is in the top of your head, and that controls the entire body. You've got your lungs that are in your chest area as well, and that's where gas exchange happens, where they pump air in and out of the body. You have your stomach. Again, I imagine anyone here who's a little hungry knows where their stomach is, and it stores and breaks down food. You then have your kidneys. Your bladder is the yellow bit towards the bottom. So your kidneys help to clean and filter your blood. You have your large and small intestines, which absorb nutrients from food. And we're going to do more about the stomach and intestines' role in digestion in the next video. So you have loads of organ systems in your body. These are just a few: the digestive system, the nervous system, circulatory, reproductive and respiratory system, and all these systems work together to help you function. Here we've got an example of that cells to organism. So we have atoms that make up DNA, that then make up cells. Those cells make up tissue, for example, in this picture, smooth muscle tissue, that make up an organ. In this example, it's a stomach, which makes up the digestive system, which then makes up a person. So you can see how we can go even smaller than a cell and go to atomic level, but cells become tissues, become organs, become an organ system, become an organism. So we're now going to test your knowledge of the organisation from cell to tissue to organ system. Now you can do this as a table, and you can colour in the boxes that's been shown here, or you can do it as a flowchart if you'd rather. So one's been done for you. A sperm cell makes up testes tissue, that makes up the testes organ that is part of the reproductive system. The next one that I'd like you to do is bone. So pause the video and write it down for me. So you should have got this as your answer, that a bone cell makes up compact bone, which makes up bone that is part of the skeletal system. So the next one we're going to do is the Palisade cell. So pause the video here and figure it out for me. So hopefully you got that the Palisade cell makes up the Palisade layer tissue that is part of the leaf, which is an organ, which is part of the leaf system. The next one I want you to do is the motor neuron. Okay, so the motor neuron makes up nervous tissue that's part of the spinal cord, which makes the nervous system. And the next one you're going to do is the alveoli cell. So the alveoli cell is part of alveolus tissue, which is in the lungs, that's part of the respiratory system. And the next one what you should do is the smooth muscle cell. So smooth muscle cells make up smooth muscle. They are part of the small intestine that makes up the digestive system, and that's left the final one, which is the endothelial cell, is part of the blood vessel lining, which makes the blood vessels, which is part of the circulatory system. So hopefully that's helped a little bit with understanding how cells make up tissues, that make up organs, that make up systems, and eventually a multicellular organism like you or I. All of the organ systems have adaptations in some of their organs that make them effective as exchange surfaces. So they could have a large surface area, a rich blood supply, and the ability to maintain a concentration gradient. And this will make a little bit more sense if you've watched the active transport and diffusion videos. The final thing that I'd like you to do is more of a research activity. This is in preparation for the next video, which is on the digestive system. I want you to find out for me the function of these organs. So we have the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus. So find out what they do, ready for the next video. Thank you for watching, stay safe and happy.